Up next from the other side of the aisle, Senator Lindsey Graham, chairman of the Budget Committee. All right, we have a lot to talk about, but let's start there on the SAVE Act.
Okay.
You heard Senator Van Hollen. He says it's going to disenfranchise millions of people. Why would you do that?
Oh, they said that in Georgia when Georgia tightened up their voter laws and you had the largest turnout of African Americans in the history of Georgia voting. They say that all the time, Jim Crow 2.0. I don't know why we're having such a hard time finding common ground when 84% of the country believes you should have ID. So this is a game they play. They're not, the people who let 15 million people in are not going to do anything to kick them out. They're not going to do anything to make sure they can't vote or register to vote. That's meaningful. I hate to say that, but if you're willing to open your border up, obliterate all your laws and let 15 million people come to this country, 2 million, we don't even know who they are and where they're at, you're the last people on the planet that is really going to tighten this up. So they're open borders people. They're not into controlling honest elections.
Okay, but during the Biden administration, when Democrats offered up their national agenda, a piece of federal legislation that they said would tighten up elections, Republicans decried the idea of federalizing anything that's supposed to be left to the states.
I think we're at the point now with 15 million people invading the country, you've got to have some control. I think what happened during Biden is that they obliterated the concept of sovereignty. You know, I've been working with Democrats for decades to try to find a middle ground. During Biden's 4 years, everything was wiped out. Our border was no longer under control. People were sent all over the country. Tom Homan said 2 million people are gotaways. We never know. We never find out who they were and where they're at. And Iran's threatening our homeland. Our friends on the other side are playing Russian roulette with our national security. I've never been more worried about a large-scale attack on our country than I am right now. You got Iran threatening everything in the world, including parks. So now's not the time to shut down DHS. I want all of it funded, and I want all of it funded now so we can protect the American people from a threat that's real. Iran was this close to having a nuclear weapon. During negotiations, they told Kushner and Witkoff, our negotiators, they bragged about having 460 kilograms of uranium enriched at 60%. Well, if you go to 90%, you got a weapon. 60 to 90 is 2 weeks. So 460 kilograms at 90%, which would have taken 2 weeks, is 10 bombs. Under the regimes Democrats have been supporting, and Republicans, they're not supposed to have any 60% enriched uranium. There's no commercial purpose for uranium enriched at that level. They just fired missiles that could get to Diego Garcia 4,000 kilometers. Everything to control this regime in terms of their missile program, their nuclear program has failed. So what has Trump done? He's obliterated their ability to make more missiles. He's obliterated their nuclear program, and he's going to take them out of the terrorist business. In about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe less, we'll be in a situation.
What if it goes beyond that? I mean, the American people are nervous, and
even
supporters of President Trump have said this does not need to continue.
Well, I'm telling you, what needs to continue is to make sure that the largest state sponsor of terrorism can't get a nuclear weapon to blow us all up and hold us hostage. To the American people, they were 2 weeks away from having 90% enriched uranium to make 10 bombs. They've got missiles that go 4,000 kilometers. We're not going to live that way anymore. Since 1979, these people have been terrorizing the world. They've got American blood on their hands, and here's what we accoliched in 20 days. Their missile program has been obliterated.
But
their
we saw
nuclear
the missile
program
that went
has been
towards
obliterated,
Diego Garcia.
and they're running out of money. So here's what I tell President Trump. Keep it up for a few more weeks. Take Kharg Island, where all of the resources they have to produce oil, control that island, let this regime die on a vine.
Is this going to, though, take Kharg Island? Is it going to involve U.S. troops on the ground? Let me just read you something from The Atlantic. Does an assessment on that. They say U.S. troops may well take Kharg Island. We believe in their ability to do so, but only to endure ballistic missile strikes, drone attacks, petrochemical smoke, all without a reliable means of obtaining logistical support. The result could be a grinding war of attrition. They talk about how far away they would be from resupply.
I'm sort of tired of all this armchair quarterback, and this has been an amazing military operation. God bless the fallen.
But it's a difference when we talk about troops on the ground.
I trust the Marines, not that guy. I trust DOD. We got 2 Marine expeditionary units sailing to this island. We did Iwo Jima. We can do this. The Marines, my money is always on the Marines. I don't know if you take the island or you blockade the island, but I know this. The day we control that island, this regime, this terrorist regime, has been weakened. It will die on a vine. And here's what I want to do. I want to get with Chris. I want to sprint to peace. As the war winds down, I want peace to ramp up. The reason we don't have Saudi Arabia and Israel making peace is October the 7th, 2023, Iran through Hamas attacked Israel, stopping normalization. I want to take up and complete what Biden started. As soon as we get Iran defanged so they can never do another October 7th, I want to start up peace talks between Saudi and Israel this year. I want a peace deal between Saudi and Israel normalizing, ending the Arab-Israeli conflict. It's been going on for 2,000 years this year, and you can't do it with a lethal Iran. So we're weeks away from this Iranian regime not having the capability to stop peace.
Okay, very quickly, though, because we got to go. Who is going to be negotiating for Iran? What's the new leadership going to be?
I don't know. We don't need to really worry about negotiating with Iran. We need to keep them in a box. What are you going to negotiate Iran with? What I want to do is contain them, take their missile program and keep it blown up, make sure they can never sprint out to a nuke, make sure they have no money to support terrorism, control the island and let them die on a vine, and hopefully the people will rise up. What I'm looking for is defanging Iran so we can move to peace. The Iranian people one day will have ability to take their country back. But we have the best chance in 2,000 years when Iran is neutralized for Saudi and Israel to recognize each other in the Arab-Israeli conflict. That is my goal. That is President Trump's goal. 2026 could be the biggest year since 1945 if we neutralize Iran. Don't let them do it again.
Well, okay, that's something that then you and Senator Van Hollen have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Senator Graham, thanks for coming back. Good to see you.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.